Welcome to the very first episode. It's been a long time coming. I'm super keen, super excited to kick this off. Welcome to the Father on a Mission podcast. Father on a Mission podcast. My name is Nathan. I'll be the host and be the person you're going to see on here basically every episode. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the reason why, or my reasons why I started up this whole Father on a Mission. If you're wondering why, or wondering how I came about choosing name, no crazy story, ChatGPT, punched it in, gave me your name, and I liked it. It stuck out to me for some reason. But no, let me explain the reason why, uh, the meaning behind it all, and my hopes and my dreams, aspirations for my podcast. Let's get into it. First thing is, I started this as a way for me to be able to, one, express myself, two, talk about the things that I feel passionate about, topics that I enjoy discussing, especially as I plan to have other people, guests on the show, and secondly, the people that I'm going to be on while we're on the topic of guests are people that I, one, either aspire to be like to a certain degree, or we're in the same boat of young father trying to chase something bigger than ourselves so our kids and their kids can prosper from it. And so that's basically the gist of why I wanted to start this podcast. It's so I'm able to have those chats with people that I think I'll be able to learn a lot from. And if there's something you can know about me, I love having those chats. Chats where you walk away and you're really inspired, you're really moved by it, and you're just able to take so much from it, learn from it, and apply it in your life. And you walk away from a conversation just a little bit better than before the conversation. Those are the conversations that I'll have. So the type of people that I feel like I'd want to sit down and have a chat to are people that I want to be like in different aspects of my life, right? So I feel like I need to work on becoming more spiritual. I grew up very religious, and we went to church and the whole nine. So I want to talk to someone who's very religious and pick their brains a little bit as to why this and why that. What do they do with this or what do they do with that? So that's the religious aspect. Then I want to talk to someone who is excelling in their professional careers, and then that person I'd want to know the techniques, the little tricks of the trade, the anything they can tell me to help me sort of drive my career, and even things I can take from them to drive what I do here with the podcast. And then I want to interview someone who doesn't have to be spiritual, doesn't have to have, that high career status or be in their workplace, but just a young dad or a new dad or someone who's exactly like me. I've got 2 kids and a partner. I want to talk to someone who's exactly the same. Doesn't have to have 2 kids or whatever, but you get what I'm saying. Young dad, new dad. And the person I'm the most excited to talk to would have to be sort of like your up and coming entrepreneur, right? Or even just aspiring entrepreneurs, because those are the people's minds who I want to dive into the most, because it's their minds who I reckon, in my opinion, their minds are one of the strongest, because it's, at one point, I guarantee you, from all the videos that I've watched and the research that I've done, I guarantee you at some point in time, these aspiring entrepreneurs or already established entrepreneurs have been called crazy, I cringe, you're not going to make it, it's not going to work, and things like that, right? So it'd be fun to interview all these different types of people, because they all represent what I want to be, or what I want to aspire to be like, in different aspects of my life. Again, whether it be religiously, professionally, um, entrepreneurial, personally, it doesn't matter. I want to get to know them. And I want to get into something, and I want to share a story real quick about how I got to this point right here. How I got to be in this moment and um, have all this ambition, have all these goals, and I want to tell the story. So, way back before I met my partner now, before I had my daughter, before I had my son, I was working out in a warehouse, um, and all I was doing was just partying. I just party every weekend. I'd finish work on a Friday, go straight to the bottle-o, and just get me a slab of beers, start drinking it, hit up whoever, and then I'd go out. And that was basically my weekend. And, I don't regret the times that I did have, or those times where I was drinking and going out or whatever, because in those moments I enjoyed myself, or I thought I was enjoying myself. That was my version of fun, right? And so, yeah, in those moments, I thought I was having fun, only coming to realize now I don't really enjoy doing that stuff anymore. I'll have the occasional beer here and there, sure, with my siblings. Sometimes, if it's a hot day, I'll crack one open in the garage. But it's more the partying and that sort of lifestyle that I don't miss. Anyways, back to the story. I was working out in the warehouse. I finished work one day, and then I came home, still living at my parents' house. And I just remember thinking to myself, like, this can't be it, right? I've met so many people working in warehousing that have been doing that same job for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, even 40 years, right? And they're still there. And although these guys have, you know, some of the things I aspire to have one day, the house that's paid off, the cars that are paid off, um, they've got the family, the grandkids, and yeah, I aspire to have all those things one day, but just something about it just didn't sit right with me. And what it was that, as someone who grew up spiritual, because this is coming from a spiritual angle, I thought of it as, if God put me on this earth for a reason, I'm pretty sure that reason was not to go work in a warehouse for someone who doesn't know my name, only for me to work there for 40 years, die, and that's it, right? I genuinely believe this, and you might call me crazy for it, but I genuinely believe that my purpose on this earth was not to live and die in a warehouse for scraps, right? I believe there's enough money in this world to go around. You just got to chase it. And so, back to the story. I remember having that dilemma, or that discussion with myself over beers, mind you, because that's when the best discussions happen. If you know, you know. I had that discussion with myself, and I remember thinking, this can't be it. I can't just keep doing this because although it's fun now, I guarantee you in the future it won't be. Fast forward a couple of years, I'd met my then partner. I'd met my now partner, sorry. And I'll go into how we met and all that in a different video, or maybe if I have her on, if she wants to come on. But I met my now partner, who would later turn to be the mother of my kids. But I met her, we got to talking, developed a friendship, got closer, whatever. But during all that time, I was having the thoughts of this isn't it. I'm worth more. I can do more. I want more. I deserve more. But I never really did anything about it, right? So it's not good to have those thoughts and not do anything about it. You got to put some actions behind your words, right? And I guess hence the name Father on a Mission. It wasn't until my son was born that I decided now's the time to stop thinking about it. Let's do it. And so, literally, the first time I held my son, I remember thinking, you will not have the same life I will have because I'm going to give you one better, right? And I'm sure heaps of people can relate to this, heaps of parents, both mothers and fathers, who want the best for their children and want them to have a better life and yada, yada, yada. I'm sure you can relate. But yeah, that was that light bulb in the head moment for me. It was when my son was born, the first time I held him. Hence why I call it Father on a Mission, because truly, I didn't really start, the wires in my head didn't really start spinning until my son was born. And that's what's led me here today, is I'm just trying to strive for something, and I want to take you along for it. Hopefully these discussions that I'll have in the future with some of these people will be ones that will inspire you as well, whether you're parents or not. Um, and, hopefully we can all one day meet and sip pina coladas on a yacht somewhere. I don't know. Um, but yeah, that's how I got here, man. It was my son, and now that I have a daughter, it's even more so. You know, the drive, the passion, the ambition is stronger than ever. Both, and that's the crazy thing, both with my career and with what I'm trying to do outside of work. Right. So I've just recently gotten a promotion or a step up at work. I'm off the floor into the office now, which I'm super stoked for. Um, and that's all good and well. But I was telling my partner this the other day at dinner. He's like, I'm so stoked and so happy that I've gotten this promotion or this opportunity to step up and learn something new in the office. But I feel like I'm putting all my effort into that, not into what I'm trying to do outside of work, which, in my opinion, means more to me because this is what I want to do. This is how I want to live my life. Um, but ask you a question, and I truly hope you ponder about it. Ask yourself, look at yourself in the mirror, or just find a place to reflect and ponder, and ask yourself if what you're doing now is what you were put on this earth to do, and do you deserve more? Ask yourself that. Let me know in the comments what you think. Your replies are, shoot me a DM. Also follow me on my social medias, Father on a Mission. I also have a blog out, fatheronamission.com. I'll put all the links in that in the bio. But yeah, come along for the ride. I promise you, it'll be a good one. That's me. This is Father on a Mission. My name's Nathan. I'll see you later.